This is the Bison Football Show with Coach Matt Entz, hosted by Jeremy Jorgenson, and presented by Gate City Bank.
What a game in Frisco. The Bison are champions again, and this one feels a little different. In a year where the FCS thought they could get the Bison, in the end, that didn't happen, which was very satisfying to Bison players and coaches. 16-0, 37 straight wins. With a team that has a freshman quarterback and doesn't lose much, the Bison dynasty is roaring. Good morning, Bison Nation. Coach Entz is en route to the National Coaches Convention in Nashville, but let's continue the celebration anyway. What a year it has been, and the final game was an instant classic. James Madison is one of the few teams who has went toe-to-toe with the Bison in every matchup, and they did once again this weekend. It came down to the final few seconds, and let's roll the highlights and break this down for you. We have some low-angle action for you for a different look here. The Bison roar out of the tunnel. Boy, I'll tell you what, the opening drive, JMU got the ball first. They went 17 plays, and they ran it a lot. In fact, 8 carries from Percy Ajay Obase. Finished it with a touchdown here to Riley Stapleton, who was a beast in this football game. 7-0, so a statement by James Madison right out of the gate. However, Trey Lance said, "No sweat, Code Green. I got your backs." 8 plays, 70 yards, a 32-yard run on a 3rd and 11. They got into the red zone here with Phoenix Sproles. Adam Cofield finishes it off, and we're all tied up at 7. Boy, the Bison, that was a big answer right there after an impressive James Madison drive. So we're tied. JMU's second drive stalled, and right at the end of the first quarter, this is a play that everyone will remember. Trey Lance set the tone for physicality. He drug half the state of Virginia for 14 yards right here. Just stay with it. The pile keeps on moving and moving and moving. What a play that was. And then the Bison faked everybody out with an end around to Phoenix Sproles, and Phoenix Sproles would finish it off. The young man has great speed. You see him busting up the sidelines right here. 14-7 after the Sproles touchdown. The Bison have the momentum back on their side. Second quarter, here comes JMU. They weren't going anywhere. Dylan Stapleton, a very tough matchup, a big tight end. Across the middle was open early in the game for the Dukes. He goes for 17, but they get in the red zone, and coming up here have a 3rd and 8, and they shockingly run the football. Jackson Hankey was ready for it. Jackson Hankey had 17 tackles in this football game. The Bison would force a field goal. Here it is right here with Ethan Radke, a really good kicker, 14-10, but JMU did get some points on that one. After a huge mistake by JMU, a face mask, the Bison backed up. The Bison are on the move. One of the few plays by the backs all day, a 21-yard beauty from Ty Brooks right there. Adam Cofield for 11. So this was the drive where the backs did get involved. Didn't happen a lot during the day. The running backs just had 11 carries for 71 yards on the day. JMU stopped the drive, but the Bison pulled out a play for the ages, a fake field goal. James Hendricks rumbles in, 21-10. It would have been a 37-yard field goal. Perfect timing for the gamble, though. 21-10 Bison after the fake field goal. Special teams were going to be big in this game. We certainly knew that, and they were. JMU, however, again would answer. Dylan Stapleton, the big tight end, 18 yards. But the Bison would get a sack. The defense stepped up. Logan McCormick gets a play here. Some of the guys who stepped up for the Bison defense on Code Green, really good. McCormick right there setting up a field goal attempt. Their kicker, Ethan Radke, very solid. Made the first attempt, but the Bison got a timeout. Second attempt, doinks off the upright. That's huge to keep them off the board right there. Let's move to the second half in the third quarter. Started with a Bison 3-and-out. Here comes JMU. Percy Ajay Obase, a workhorse. But with a 2nd and 2 at the 7, they decided to kick the field goal on that drive because the drive stalled, and they only got 3, 21-13. NDSU punted again, so momentum shifting, but Derek Tuska, a big sack. And then their quarterback got an illegal forward pass on a 3rd down, which was a huge play, and the drive stalled. Bison offense comes to life. Swing pass to fullback Hunter Lukey. The big man has good hands, good feet, good speed. Senior Ben Ellefson out of that fullback tight end room. Boy, the crew chiefs were rolling on this drive. Ben Ellefson has the Bison marching. They needed a drive right here. The Bison offense needed to get the ball movement. And we move into the fourth quarter, and it's a 3rd and 23. JMU thinks they have the Bison in a great spot. But a crushing blow by Trey Lance. Look at this kid run, folks. Wow, a 28-13 score after this. That was on 3rd and 23. An unbelievable play. The teams exchanged punts. JMU was going to fight to the end, though. There was no doubt about that. They have themselves in a 4th and 6. They're driving the football. Ben DiNucci, a gritty play right here. There's going to be a massive collision with James Kaiser. It's 4th and 6. The season's on the line. He needs 6, and he got 6 in about an inch right there. What a collision that was. And then Riley Stapleton, 10 catches, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, he scored right there. It's 28-20. It's a one-possession football game. Well, the Bison had a play go their way right here. 2nd and 12, a tipped ball. It's going to be tipped by Landon Word, the linebacker, and Noah Gindorf. Great awareness by Noah. Goes for 22 yards right there. Then Trey Lance goes for 10. So the Bison trying to milk the clock here. They're on the move, trying to work the clock and get the things in their favor. They're on a 3rd and 9 right here. Trey gets 7. Needed 9, got 7. So now what do? The ball's at the 37-yard line. Matt Entz decides to go for it. The Bison do not get it, so James Madison holds on 4th down. They're down 8. The clock's starting to tick, but they're still in it. They tried a trick play, and it did not work out. In fact, it blew up in their face, an 8-yard loss. Jabril Cox, what a big play that was, but they still got way down deep. There's just 8 seconds left. They have a timeout. They decide to throw the football. They're inside the 5-yard line. DiNucci is picked by James Hendricks. A play that will be remembered by the Bison for a long time. The fans, the players, the coaches, what a moment that was. It sealed the championship. The Bison win their 8th championship in the last 9 years, 37 consecutive wins. What a great football game. Pretty even total yards, the rush yards. The Bison had their way there thanks to Trey Lance, who had 166 on 30 carries. Let's hear what the players had to say after the game.
For it to end like that, it's hard to put into words. I'm so happy for everybody. It's just an unbelievable feeling. Just seeing my best friends around here. I mean, us seniors in our last game, and we just left everything out there.
They got the play on us a couple times during the game, and that just shows our resilience because we come to the sideline, things don't work, we make adjustments, and Hendo comes in and makes the adjustment and makes the play, and it's just so fitting that he made that play for us, and I can't be happier for him and this team.
I mean, it was just showing resilience to our team, man, and the DBs, man, we knew it was going to be a challenge with those great receivers and that great offense and that great quarterback, so we decided to step up as much as we can, man. We knew we had one last go-around together.
We pride ourselves all the time on tightening up in the red zone. You know, we try to play great defense all over the field, but if somebody gets within our 20, we're trying to keep them out of the end zone. We got a saying, and we say field goals will never get you beat, and that showed today. A lot of times they got down in our red zone, we were able to keep them out, and we came out victorious. So
this goes to show the culture, the Bison pride, that standard that all the former players started a long time ago. They were at practice yesterday, gave some support, gave some words of wisdom, and it's incredible. Nobody's playing for themselves here. It's unbelievable.
It's bittersweet. I mean, that clock hit 0, and I was still on the pile with James Hendricks, but man, bittersweet. Couldn't have wanted it to end any other way, man. I love my brothers, love this team. People don't see what goes on behind the scenes, and just to end this way again, it means the world to me, and I couldn't be more grateful.
It's a dream come true. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. It's just something that you can't predict, and it's just, you can only wish for it, and I'm just happy that I was able to make the play at the right time, and we got back on this stage.
You know, it starts in January. January to January is kind of our goal, and so to go out on top with these seniors, you know, there's only 14 of us left, and so it's pretty special, you know, when you're playing with somebody like Trey Lance. He makes you better. He makes the people around him better, and so one heck of a game for him today, and I'm just so happy.
Well, in the end, Trey Lance was the difference. This young man rushed the ball 30 times for 166 yards. He could not be stopped, and James Madison's defense is as good as there is out there. Trey ended the year with no interceptions, and he rushed for over 1,000 yards. Goodness, folks, this freshman is a superstar.
The player of the game, presented by Nodak Insurance Company.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
unbelievable feeling. Just super glad we can do it for the seniors, this coaching staff, the new guys. This is all new to them. It's all new to me and a lot of the young guys. But honestly, shout out to all the people that doubted us all year long, because that really kept us going, especially in the off season. Predicting us to lose 4 games, stuff like that. That really kept us going this year, especially in this game. I couldn't imagine this feeling. Obviously I thought about this situation. This was the goal going into this season, and the expectation, at NDSU. But this feeling is not something you can, explain in words.
And let's just keep the Trey train rolling, because Friday night he made history by becoming the first freshman and first Bison to win the prestigious Walter Payton Award. What a scene it was. The award is not known ahead of time, so the drama was real, and Trey's name was called. Certainly deserving, and it needed to happen, but you just wondered if they would give it to a freshman. So a tip of the cap to all the voters out there who got it right. Trey Lance, the Walter Payton Award winner, as the top player in the nation. Wow, that's cool, guys. Trey is a freshman, but we do say goodbye to some seniors. One of those is Derek Tuska.
This is Would You Rather with the 2019 Bison, presented by Gate City Bank.
Would you rather go fishing or hunting?
Ooh, that's a tough one. If it's archery hunting, definitely archery hunting.
Okay. Would you rather go skydiving or cliff diving?
I haven't done either, but I'd probably have to say skydiving.
Would you rather go camping or stay in a hotel?
Camping for sure.
Would you rather shovel snow or swat mosquitoes?
Well, if I'm swatting mosquitoes, hopefully it's because I'm out fishing or something, but shovel snow.
Okay. Would you rather swim in a pool or a lake?
Lake for sure.
Would you rather drive or fly when you're going somewhere?
Fly, definitely.
Would you rather walk 10 miles or go to the dentist?
I'll go to the dentist. It's not too bad.
Would you rather bite your tongue while eating or step on a Lego?
I don't know. I'd probably have to say Lego.
Would you rather sit on a beach or a cruise ship?
Beach.
Would you rather confront an alligator or a bear?
Probably a bear.
Would you rather be thirsty or hungry?
I'd have to say hungry.
Yeah. Would you rather sit in a tractor or an office all day?
Tractor. Definitely.
Would you rather watch a movie at home or go to a theater?
Movie at home. I'm not much of a theater guy myself.
Would you rather drink coffee or juice in the morning?
Probably juice.
Would you rather own a fancy house or a fancy vehicle?
House.
The community is so supportive of the Bison, and it is a huge undertaking to get the staff down to Frisco. Financial support is a must, and these 4 stepped up big time. Boy, big thanks to Shields, Gate City Bank, Nodak Insurance, and Sanford. Their contributions were a big part of this 8th national championship. Well, Coach couldn't be with us this morning due to his national convention commitments, but he did speak to Brian Shawn after the game. Let's hear that conversation.
Here with North Dakota State football coach Matt Entz. In his first year, the Bison go 16-0, win an FCS national title. How do you put all that into words?
I don't know if I'm ready to yet. It's been an unbelievable experience. It feels like just yesterday it was Butler at Target Field, and for us to be wrapping up the 2019 season in Frisco in front of a capacity crowd, a Bison, crowd is unbelievable.
Crazy momentum shifts in the first and second half. The fake field goal stands out. James Hendrick's play certainly stands out, but there were a lot of other plays that were made by everybody that were critical in this contest.
There were. The one play that sticks out to me that I felt like started to tip it was we cut a guy loose in protection, and Trey took off, and before you knew it, we pushed the pile for yards. And I think at that moment, the physicality, the things that we talk about week in and week out, Bison physicality, started to it showed me that our kids were ready to play and we're going to be in this all game long.
No team has ever gone 16-0 in the FCS and won a national championship. You had 15 new starters and 4 new guys on the coaching staff, but everything just keeps clicking. I know it's not as easy as it looks sometimes, Matt, but how would you describe your first year as head coach?
I've said it numerous times. I just didn't want to screw it up and continue to try to make sure that it looked like Bison football. We acted like Bison. We handle ourselves off the field, on the field. I still have the same standards that I hope Chris Kleiman, Craig Bohl had. Those guys got this where we're at, and it was fun. We challenged the kids. They had a chip on their shoulder. We didn't talk a lot about it, but there were some people that were, maybe they're a year away from being good, and no, our players said, no, we're going to be ready. And the new coaches, what a great addition. Those guys jumped in with both feet, bought in. It took, they had to figure out what it was like to be you don't know what it's like to be a Bison. A lot of people want to ask me or come to campus for a week and say, oh, well, let's figure it out. You got to be here for a year to start to understand it. Friday night, 250 former players, that's when our young guys started to figure, okay, now I understand what Bison pride is, Coach.
You haven't wanted to talk about it, 37-game winning streak, but most importantly, went 1-0 this week.
That's all.
And it's a national championship.
Right. I haven't talked about the streak ever. 1-0. Now we were fortunate we were able to go 1-0 16 times this year. But guess what? We'll try to go 1-0 and then the first one next year too.
Well, enjoy it, Matt, and congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
1-0 for 16 straight weeks. That's pretty good. 2 new coordinators this year, one who has been part of the Bison for a long time and one who is new to the program. Let's hear their thoughts as their raw emotion puts in perspective what this title meant.
You know what? It comes back to a bunch of humility. This football team just exemplified it, from the coaching staff to our players. It was 1-0 every week. We knew that we had to continue to improve as the season wore on. Heads never got too big, and this football team continued to improve as the season went along, and showed off today for sure.
You can't put it into words. The time, the effort, the energy, and it's not just a football team. There's so many people that are invested into NDSU football. Former players, alumni, the community. It's unbelievable the support that we have, the support that we get. You can't put it into words.
You pinch yourself, and you're grateful for the opportunity to be able to share it with your family and with a bunch of close friends and these players. Words don't do it justice. This community, this administration, this coaching staff, that locker room, I don't know if there's anywhere in the country that it's better to be a football coach.
It's hard thinking that tomorrow I won't be coaching Ben Ellefson and Garrett Maelstrom. I don't know when that will hit me. And you get around a lot of these guys, like I said, I've been with them for 5 years. You got a lot of time, effort, energy into those kids. You know that they're in your corner, and they know that I'm in their corner. And it's not just when they're wearing a Bison uniform, it's for life. And I'd do anything for those kids.
It wasn't always perfect this year, but there was just a resiliency in this group and a calmness in this group. And that speaks to leadership. It speaks to Derek Tuska. It speaks to James Hendricks. It speaks to a veteran like Jabril Cox. Just, up and down, no matter where we were at, we just knew we had to move on to the next play, the next game, and the next opportunity. And our guys certainly showed that today.
Those two guys did a great job. Certainly wrapped everything together nicely. Tyler Roll did a great job with that offense, so kudos to him. Still to come, we're going to hear from Director of Athletics Matt Larson. Also check back in with Kobe Johnson, who had a great true freshman year. Stay with us. And welcome back to the show. After the game, Mike Morkin caught up with Director of Athletics Matt Larson. Matt gives great perspective on the game and on what this title meant to the program.
Today's Bison football feature story is presented by Olaf Anderson Construction.
I'm with Athletic Director Matt Larson, and we're kind of making a regular deal of this.
It is, but it's so hard to, I think, still put into words, because I think being in it every day, you understand just how hard it is to get to this, and much less go on and win a national championship. But to do it, heck, 5 years and my 6 years here, and 8 out of 9 overall is just unbelievable. But just so proud of our guys, so proud of the program, so proud of Coach Entz and the job he's done this year, and that's what makes this program so special.
We talked when you first arrived here in Frisco this year, and you talked about energy. We saw that energy today.
Oh, there's no doubt. And what was great about this was an absolute national championship game where you had 1 versus 2 physical game, and our guys they find a way to win. The epitome of Bison pride is James Hendricks comes in as a quarterback, switches over to defense, becomes one of the best defensive players in the country, and makes the final play of his career to win the national championship. That's Bison pride for you right there.
And I talked to one of the players afterwards, and I asked him about nerves coming down the stretch. He said there were no nerves. All the confidence was there.
Our guys are always unfazed. You look up and down the line. It doesn't matter whether we're up or down or whatever it is. They're going to make plays. They find a way to make plays, and that's what we do here at North Dakota State. And those guys know it. And it's just so great to watch them compete at such a high level. And and certainly on the biggest stage here.
Okay, let's switch gears. How about that crowd that was out there? This had to be the largest out on the field after the game.
Oh, it was incredible. I mean, you know, every year you try to say how impressive Bison Nation is, and they continue to outdo themselves. And you look here today, you had probably 70 to 75% of the crowd being green and gold. And, you know, I don't care, size of North Dakota State, whatever it is, we have one of the best fan bases in the country, and they show it again and again, and certainly did it today.
All right, thanks for that. Well, in our last look into the future with the young players in the program, we revisit one of the star true freshmen this year, and that's Kobe Johnson.
The future crop of Bison, presented by Peterson Farms Seed.
Kobe returned kicks in the national championship game and did a nice job. Rushed for nearly 700 yards this season. The question everyone had about Kobe has been, how did the Bison find this gem? Well, one of the reasons is few knew about him or saw what the Bison did.
I had offers from Alabama A&M, Gardner-Webb, Charleston Southern, and Pikeville University. And I honestly didn't know too much about NDSU. There's nothing bad. So on the recruitment, when I first met Coach Buddha, when he came up to the school, it was just a brand new thing to me. I was hearing something new, and I fell in love with it.
Boy, a tremendous find by the Bison coaching staff. Well, still to come, we'll talk about Game 1 next year, which happens to be Oregon. Stay with us. Well, how do the Bison top this? And I give you the next opponent. Those who want an FBS game on the schedule, you will get it in Game 1 as the 37-game winning streak will roll into Eugene, Oregon. And the Ducks just won the Rose Bowl. Oregon loses a lot on offense, but returns 9 guys from a nasty defense, assuming none of them turn pro. The Ducks are a really, really good football team. But what a great opportunity for this Bison program in Oregon. May not know this yet, but the Bison will be ready to play, and they will expect to win this football game. What a scene that is going to be, no doubt about it. Well, we'll leave you today with the return to Fargo. The Bison team got stuck in Dallas and didn't return to Fargo until the middle of the night. But like everything else, they handled it like champions. Here are the guys returning last night. See you at Oregon. The Bison roar into 2020 as champions.